We're back? We're back? Okay, very good, boys and girls. So, I'm sure you already know this, but when an author goes to write a book, they don't always explain every single thing that happens. They couldn't do that. That book would be infinitely big, right? Authors just can't do that. They don't tell us everything, but they give us clues so we can use what we already know with those clues to help us figure out what's going on in the book. So take a look up here at our learning target. I can use story clues and what I already know to draw conclusions. So today we're going to be working on drawing conclusions. Now when you hear draw, you probably think with like a pencil, draw a picture. Draw can also mean like pull something out. So today we're going to be pulling out things that the author didn't actually say. But we're going to use our clues and what we already know. Now this is really important, boys and girls, because it helps you understand the story better, because the author's not going to tell us everything. So there's some stuff we have to figuring out using clues and what we already know. So in order to understand a story completely, you're going to have to draw conclusions. And obviously we really want to understand a story. That's the most important thing we do as a reader. If you're not understanding it, you're not really reading. Very good. I'm glad you understand that. And those Fab Four that we learned about last week, those can help us draw conclusions. So turn and talk now to your purple and gold partner about what we're going to be learning today. And I want you to explain to them what drawing conclusions means. Talk? We're back? Okay, I heard lots of you guys explain that drawing conclusions is figuring out what the author didn't actually say. Figuring out what they just gave us clues about, but we have to use what's already in our brain to figure that out. Now, drawing conclusions, boys and girls, doesn't just happen when you read. Look over there. You see reading is thinking? We do draw conclusions when we read, but this weekend, boys and girls, I had to draw conclusions when I was driving. Do you want to hear what happened in my mind? Okay, I was driving, and I came to a four-way stop, and it usually had stoplights. So some people go, and then when it turns red, those people stop, and then it turns green for the other people. Okay, that's what normally happens. That's what's already in my brain. So I drive up there, but everyone is stopped. And they're going one at a time around in a circle. And I've been here before, so I know this is not what normally happens. So I had to draw some conclusions. The clues that were given to me was that up at the stoplight, it was blinking red on all of the stoplights. And I know that's not normal. In my brain, I already know that's not normal. So I drew the conclusion that something is wrong with this stoplight. I used the clues, which was the blinking red light, and I used what I already knew, that this was not what you normally do here. So that was really important that I was able to do that because I had to be safe when I was driving. Turn and talk about one more time what it means to be drawing conclusions, and maybe you've drawn some conclusions in your own life. Talk. We're back? Okay, it sounds like you already have some other ideas. Mrs. Camp's now going to show you how it's done. And instead of using a book, which we'll be using all week, I'm going to start off by showing you a little clip. and how the author of this clip and the producer of this clip doesn't tell us everything. So I'm going to have to draw conclusions. Use what I already know, plus the clues from the clip. Let's watch. Okay, I'm going to start out by drawing conclusions here. Let me think. It doesn't say where they are, but it looks like they're wearing the same color of shirt. So that's a clue, and also a clue is that they're typing on things, and I see a clock on the wall. So I already know, I've seen something like this before in these filing cabinets. This isn't their home. I think they work here. The clues are telling me, boys and girls, that they work here. Now, the author doesn't actually say that, but I'm going to draw that conclusion based on what they're wearing and what it looks like, and that I've already seen this before in like an office. I'm going to go on. I'm drawing conclusions. What they're actually doing, so I'm going to have to draw conclusions here. Okay, he got really excited. They were both typing, and he got really happy, and I've seen Mr. Camp do that with his buddies when they were playing video games, and one of them won. So I think that they were playing games on that computer, and that guy won. It doesn't actually say that, does it? No, I'm just drawing conclusions. There aren't any words. Oh, my conclusions were right. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening here. I already heard some people drawing some conclusions. They look very worried, and I heard that tap, tap, tap. Their worried faces and the clues that it looks like they're at work lead me to the conclusion that that is their boss. Yeah. And I know, in my background knowledge and what I already know, that you're not supposed to be playing games on the computer when you're at work because they're paying you to do something. And they look worried. So the conclusion I'm drawing is that they might get in trouble. I don't actually know what happens to that other guy. It doesn't tell me. But the clues are he's getting pulled away by this man who looks like his boss. And I know that if your boss is taking you out of the place, I've seen this in other movies and other books, that if your boss is taking you out and they're pulling you out, that you're probably not going to be able to come back, that you've lost your job because you're fired. So do you see how I'm using the clues? And it doesn't actually tell me what happens. And I'm using what I already know about a workplace to help me figure out what's going on. That's what great readers and great thinkers have to do. I'm drawing the conclusion. He looked pretty happy at the end. It doesn't tell me why he's so happy, but I know that that one guy was mean and kind of bragged whenever he would win the game. So that was the clue, and in my mind, I know people don't like it when you brag and are mean. So I think that other man who got pulled away was very mean to him, and that's why he's so happy. So boys and girls, when you're drawing conclusions, you use what you already know, what's in your brain, plus the clues from the text. What's in your brain? Clues from the text. What's in your brain? Clues from the text. And that's how you draw conclusions.
And that's how you draw conclusions.
Turn to teach your partner how you draw conclusions. Talk.